Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Terence Bud Crawford laughs at a Keith Thurman question about Thurman's recent comments saying 147 welterweight division is a different ballgame. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang notification gang. Please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We are working. Now, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, haven't seen any articles on this. I actually was on YouTube and this was on my homepage. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV. They have an interview from earlier in December. I don't know how it slipped through the cracks. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, or I hadn't previously seen it. And they were talking with Terence Crawford, very short. It's a little over a minute. And the person behind the camera, they're asking Terence Crawford, they said, what do you think about moving up in weight? Keith Thurman made comments like basically suggesting that 147 is a different ball game and you're not relevant there. And immediately you see Terence Crawford laugh at on camera, link in the description, and he laughs and he's like, all right, we'll see. Like he said, we'll tell Keith Thurman to get in there with me. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is, man, but I love this attitude from Bud Crawford. He's not a man of many words. I'm sure you can get some words out of him if it's beef or something, because he is a street dude. You know what I mean? He's from the hood, from the street. And I think he has that temperament, right? But more often than not, you're just asking him simple questions. He's going to be laid back. And I just like it, because not everyone's going to be all turned up like Broner or whoever else, you know what I mean, a Floyd Mayweather villain type. Thurman, I think, to me, he's kind of backed himself into a corner. He says, Keith Thurman says that Terence Crawford hasn't done anything at 147 to be considered relevant. But then, okay, if that's your standpoint, what about Errol Spence Jr.? He is relevant welterweight. He has welterweight fights, and now he's a champion. And Thurman has basically said, oh, that fight might not happen in 2018 and might happen in 2019, and he's not a high priority. He's not on my to-do list. So it's kind of like the walls are closing in on the guy with the most belts in the welterweight division, and that is Keith Thurman. One time, right? He has 2 belts, and people seem to be coming for him. Terence Crawford already called him out, and he ain't even fought at 147. He still has to get past Jeff Horn, right? And we know Errol Spence has been at Keith Thurman's neck saying, hey, fight me, fight me. You know what I mean? So it's like between these 2 skilled, crafty-ass fighters, they're almost backing Keith Thurman into a corner. You know what I mean? Because you can't say Terence Crawford, oh, he ain't done nothing. Even though he just became undisputed at 140 and he's moving up, right? And he's probably going to challenge for a title, if all goes well, with Jeff Horn in his very first welterweight fight. And if he accomplishes that, then you're going to have to see Crawford. So to me, the whole Keith Thurman saying you're not relevant, I mean, based on the track record of Terence Crawford and the skills of Terence Crawford, I personally wouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? Because he's one fight away from being relevant. And if he beats Jeff Horn, say what you will about Jeff Horn, but he beat Pacquiao. And if Crawford goes in there and stops Jeff Horn or beats him and takes his belt in his very first fight at welterweight, boom, he's relevant now. And then, like I said, Errol Spence, he's been relevant, been getting talked up by the Broners of the world, Freddie Roach and Floyd Mayweathers, and now he has a belt to prove it. So Keith Thurman, he's probably gonna have to fight one of these dudes. You know what I mean? They're both calling him out. Aside from that, I want to touch on this. A lot of people I don't know what it is. See, I'm not saying I know everything about boxing, because clearly I don't, but a lot of y'all, I really question your boxing knowledge if you just hear people say stuff. Even me, don't just listen to what I say and just run with it. See if it makes sense to you. You know what I mean? And there's this narrative that I keep hearing about, oh, Terence Crawford, how is he gonna be? Is he too small for welterweight? And I'm just scratching my head like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Is Terence Crawford too small for welterweight? I literally don't see that. For starters, Terence Crawford to me, has the frame to move up. He always has. Like, if you look at his height and stuff, you look at his age, it's not like he's 45 or 60 years old or something trying to move up to a stacked division. I mean, he's youthful. He hasn't taken a lot of punishment. And just from a skill perspective, you can't count this man out. I just don't see it. How can you, just from skills alone, switch hitter, ortho, southpaw, his recent performances just got off undisputed. Just from skills pay the bills, you can't count him out, even though he's moving up. That's like counting out Andre Ward when he was moving up to light heavyweight. Yeah, he's probably going to be undersized. Some of the light heavyweights are bigger than him, but I would easily favor Andre Ward to beat Joe Smith Jr., easily favor him to beat a lot Marcus Brown, right? Sullivan Barrera, he did beat. Kovalev, he did beat. And it's just based on the skill perspective. And Marcus Brown's a real good fighter. Joe Smith Jr., these are good fighters. But it's just, you can't count out a person with that type of experience and that type of skill. That's one thing. But second of all, I just don't understand. It's like you guys go to a convention and there's talking points and you guys just hear someone, whoever's on the podium, say certain things. Is Crawford big enough to be a welterweight? You know what I'm saying? They just run with it. I mean, Lamont Peterson's about to fight Errol Spence Jr. in his second welterweight fight, really. You know what I'm saying? So what are you guys talking about? Like, these guys are healthy size. Lamont Peterson, he kept making 140 because he could, but I'm sure it got harder. Same thing with Crawford. I'm sure that 140 at his age and stuff, not that he's super old, but it's probably making it harder and harder. Now he could probably diet different. He might be able to get some red meat in one time a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever. I don't know. I'm not his nutritionist, but that actually helps the fighter in certain situations, because now instead of a super strict, stringent diet, you can now actually eat some stuff you want to enjoy, or maybe have a cheat day or whatever, because you have less weight to cut. And I'm a big believer in boxing is psychological. You know what I mean? There's a lot of psychology in boxing. Like, people take losses and mentally broken, and they might not be the same fighter. Like maybe like an Antoine Douglas. He lost to Aventel Curtise, and then we don't really know if mentally he was ever the same fighter after that, right? And he just lost again to the Spike O'Sullivan. Donaire, has he ever really been the same since the Rigondeaux loss? You know what I mean? So I believe in the psychology behind the boxing. I really do. And sometimes when guys move up in weight, you have a more friendly fighter, because that weight cut can be severe. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, they do crazy. I mean, just go to YouTube and type in Chris Cyborg weight cut. She was cutting all this weight to try to make this weight that was super hard. She has too much muscle mass, and she damn near died and almost died, and she's in the bathtub crying and stuff. These fighters go through some crazy rigmarole to cut weight in a lot of situations. And to me, I think Crawford has the size to move up. I don't know about his diet. I don't know how, you know what I mean, how easy it is for him to pack on weight and stuff like that. But sometimes as you get older and mature, that weight cut becomes harder and harder. Like, I firmly believe Canelo Alvarez, the weight cut to make 54 and 55 got harder and harder, because Canelo kept getting, you know what I mean, a year older and a year older. So your body's going to start rejecting after some point if you're already naturally too big. You know what I mean? You're going to hold the weight different, water weight, and different stuff like that. So in this situation, aside from the skill, I think Crawford has the frame to move up, and you might even see a better Crawford, because now at age 30 or whatever age he is, he's having to cut less weight. And like I said, he can diet different. And like I said, I believe in the psychology in the sport. And if your fighter in training camp is enjoying himself because he can enjoy a good meal here and there, and he has less weight to cut and not having to sit in the sauna for 2 hours before the weigh-in, you know what I mean, and get on bikes for an hour and all this stuff to kill himself to make weight, then you might have a fighter who's just in overall better spirits. Now, the last thing I will say with that is, here's a picture you guys see with Sean Porter, an established, strong, top-level welterweight, and this was Crawford when he was in Sean Porter's gym. And as you see, there's an instant difference in terms of height and things like that. So I don't get it. I don't see how this would be. Sean Porter has been very successful in the welterweight division. I don't understand why people are very shocked and like, oh, I don't know if Crawford can move up. I mean, fucking Pacquiao moved up from whatever, 112 or wherever he was. I do believe You know what I mean? He moved up from wherever weight he was all the way to like 152. Floyd moved up from a smaller weight class than Terence Crawford. So, and Terence Crawford's a little bit bigger than Floyd. I've seen them next to each other. So I'm not really concerned. I think there's good fights out there for Crawford, dangerous fights out there for Crawford. But as far as just him being too small, I don't really see it. Like I said, you see the picture with Sean Porter. I've seen him next to Floyd Mayweather, and he doesn't look too small. Like, you could say he's lean and his frame is a little bit more wiry, but that's because he was making 140. Now that he doesn't have to make 140 and he can come in 7 pounds higher, then you might see him pack on a little bit more size and mass and muscle. So just a little education, at least from my thought process. Let me know what you guys think of Terence Crawford. How will he be successful, or will he be successful at welterweight? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.